And we're here and we're live. We've got some people joining us. Welcome and good morning, everybody. I hope you are well. I hope you had a good weekend and a good Monday. It was gorgeous yesterday. Hopefully you were able to capitalize on that. It looks equally gorgeous today. Looking forward to an opportunity to get outside, do my daily walk. Keep telling myself that someday it will transition to a daily run, but that's slightly unrealistic. Hello, Sarah. Ryan, hello. Good morning. We'll give a sec for some other people to join us. As I'm going to do a better job today of making sure the stream doesn't crap out on us, which it very well could. But we're going to try and make sure that doesn't happen. Okay. Just making sure I'm muting all my messages and alerts that pop up so they don't interrupt this. Oh my God, Sarah. $80 does sound kind of nice, though, but I will take a nice 62-degree spring day here in New Jersey, I think, over that. But that's fun, I guess, to be somewhere different. And yes, beaches are closed. They should be closed. Ashley, good morning. Hello. Oh. All right. We'll go another 30 seconds, and we're going to jump into our task for today. Alex, hello and welcome. Other people, of course, can catch up in the stream and go back and watch later. Tyler, good morning. We're going to hope our stream doesn't crap out, so pardon when I go to my desktop view if I bounce back and forth periodically. It may look a little jarring. I'll be switching screens quickly, but I want to make sure to cover some of these basics that you guys are going to pick up on so quickly because it's really pretty simple. Granted, it's limited, but you've got enough editing experience under your belt to grasp this rather quickly. Dean and Perry, hello, good morning. Thank you for joining us. And to the one person that threw a like in there, that's cool. Caitlin, hello, good morning. If you guys haven't already, pop open a second tab and then head on over to WeVideo.com. I don't know. That didn't post as a link in the chat. Oh, well. You should have the login credentials. I re-put them in Classroom this morning with a quick little blurb just outlining our itinerary today and fallout plan if the stream craps out. It was sputtering a bit this morning, but as I've come to find out, noon, 5, and 8 are the 3 times of day where internet traffic is at its peak. So noon makes sense because it's lunch break for a lot of people that are working. 5 is typically when people get home from work or around that time where it spikes. And then 8 o'clock is typically when people are kind of done for the night and doing a lot of like video streaming and stuff. So those are the key times of the day. But I just did a speed test and we're sitting pretty, so that's good. Oh, Dose likes. Allie, hello and welcome. Okay, all right. So if you've got that second tab open, wevideo.com, make sure you log in. Credentials are posted on Google Classroom. I obviously don't want to say them out loud now because if someone else watches this video, they could find a way to get an account. And we don't want that to be the case. So you guys are all enrolled. It's just a matter of logging in there. Ooh, Trace likes. Moving on up. That coffee's warm and disgusting. We need piping hot coffee always. All right, so my goal for today is to give you a quick rundown of the layout, show you some of the really simple features, and then set you on a very, very simple task as far as just kind of playing with some of the footage I put in there. It's kind of nonsensical. It's I was just downloading stock footage from a website I stumbled across and tried to find stuff that looked interesting or had people in it or was pretty. And I threw in some music this morning from a royalty-free lo-fi hip-hop YouTube channel that I figured we can mix some stuff up, as a lot of the clips don't have audio. I'm going to focus on one that does, just so I can show you some of the tweaking you can do to things. But I think you guys will pick up on this rather quickly, and that's great because it's going to allow us to play today, play a little bit on Wednesday, and then get into some, really simple projects when we're back from break. I have no insider info to believe this, but I do think we will be in this environment again when we're back from spring break. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be in the building, but that's just my speculation. I've got no concrete evidence to support that other than just watching the news. So I'm going to bounce over to WeVideo here in a sec, so that I can walk you through some of the interface that you'll see when you log in and where we'll go to start kind of like our practice project. So again, if there are tech issues, we know the contingency plan will just be I'll do a video tutorial and then post it online. But let's get ready to bounce on over here. Okay. Now, please keep in mind that your layout might look slightly different because of the level, right? I'm the administrator of the platform, so mine will look a little bit different, and I know that caused some confusion last time, but here we go. Okay, we're bounced on over. So when you log in, all right, you'll notice that you're at your main dashboard here, and that it's welcoming you. I should say hello and your name. I pulled all the names from our internal real-time system, so I apologize if it's not a nickname and it's your full name. There's really no way to change that, but it's not a big deal. You'll have some options up top here to create a new video, to do a new recording, meaning you can actually record into a project directly from your webcam on your computer. Probably don't have too much of a need to do that, at least today, but it's an option there. And there are some templates that are available to kind of like, there, as you can see, like 6 through 12, K through 12. A lot of them are geared towards younger kids to kind of like drag and drop clips in and then have it auto-populate, some of the transitions and text and things like that, which is pretty straightforward, but we want to avoid that because we're going to be pro users. So we'll get into a new project, but we're actually not going to start it here. Just bouncing back to take a look. Okay, good. Good and good. Nick, welcome. Okay. So one of the big issues last time was joining the class, and people were asking for a class code, and that got a little confusing because when the account was originally created, it had put you into 2 classes that were titled the same, and that caused some issues. So as it stands now, all right, you are part of this group. Okay, so you don't have to worry about the group code or anything like that. You're already enrolled in this class, which is perfect because through your projects tab, I have a way to share video with you that everyone will have access to. So if you click on that projects tab, all right, you'll notice that you've got some options in the left-hand column here, My Projects, which there is none because you haven't started anything yet, and then Projects Shared With Me. And if you click on Shared With Me, no, I don't have any projects shared with me, you should see, all right, a project called TV3 Play Around. And if you double-click that project, it's going to take you to a window where you're able to then create a new video edit as part of this project, and that's what you want to do. All right, so either a new video edit, or you can hit Start. All right, you're going to want to select a blank edit at the top, and then hit start, and it's going to take you to the main editing layout. Now I'm going to pause here for a second and just bounce back to the chat to see if everyone's okay so far. So please give me some indication when you get to this part that you're doing all right. Allison and Nick, let me look into Ashley. All right, hold on. So Allison and Nick don't see anything. Ashley, name wasn't on TV3 class. Let me check. I remember one of the issues being that you are in 2 of my classes, and that could have caused a problemo. All right, Nick, nope, and Allie, nope. Okay. I have a small list of names of people that WeVideo has already like used their name, meaning they logged in with it. So you do have stuff for 1B. I don't have anything under my shared with me tab. Okay, cool. I'm going to bounce back for a sec. Take a look here at my groups. So, all right, Caitlin is added to the group, as is Ashley. Whoops. And we're looking for Nick. You are down there as well. Okay. Well, that was weird, but all right. Let me see here. Well, that's very interesting. Okay, let's try this. Everyone pause for just a sec. My apologies. We're going to delete this project. Permanently delete, yes. We're going to create a new project, TV3 mess around. Copy and paste. It's going to be a shared project. Here, I'll even show you what I'm doing. I apologize. It's on my face. That's not interesting. So creating a new project here. It's going to be a shared project. We're going to select members and groups, and we're going to go to My Groups and All Groups, and then we're going to select TV Production 4A because that's you guys. Hit Next. Here's all. No. Oh, Add My Media. Got it. Okay. So it was this song and this song. And then all these clips here. Yes, that seal is adorable, and Hip Hop Santa is as ridiculous as it sounds. The one thing I don't like is that I have all these clips in individual folders, and yet it doesn't add that or show that here. So we're going to select. That should be next. Okay, done. All right, and finish. All right. 18 members, 24 clips, so we should be in a good position. I'm going to bounce back to the chat real quick here. All right. Do me a favor. In your URL at the top here where you put the address in, hit the refresh button. It might just need to refresh before it shows. And thank you all, of course, for working through some of these kinks, as of course there are bound to be kinks. But that's okay. All right, Dean's saying he's got it. Good. Okay, excellent. That's a good thing. So we should have now in your projects shared with you, bounce back to my desktop, this folder called TV3 Mess Around, lots of S's in there. All right. And then if you click on that, you should see an option to start a new video edit. So just if you guys can give me, got it. Just got the TV. Awesome. Cool. All right. So that was my fault. That was a user error. And as much as I would love to blame something else, that was all me. I had assigned the wrong class because I went to TV3A, and in my head, I saw TV3 and was just like, oh, that's the. So I gave that project to another class, but that's been rectified, and I'm glad you guys are seeing that. So when you start a new video and we select blank edit and we hit start, you guys should see this layout. Is that where we're at currently? Oh my God, there's a weird crack in my arm. So the last time I went to demo this with you guys, I had changed my YouTube settings so that the delay wasn't as bad, and I think that's part of what caused some of the issues. So I apologize that if I'm pausing for long periods of time just to get some feedback. So Ryan says he's got it. Dean's saying yes. Okay, so we're at that screen. Fantastic. All right. So I'm going to move ahead a little bit here. All right, bear with me as I take a minute or two to move through some things. So the layout is pretty similar, all right, to Premiere. The one thing, obviously, from a space standpoint that we don't have is, right, if we have our, this monitor acts as a program as well as a source monitor. So any trimming of the clips that you're going to do takes place here, all right, as does playing back things in your timeline. Now, you'll notice, as far as the layout goes, that you do have a nested menu here, all right, as your main menu, that if you drop down, you have some pretty familiar options. You can open stuff, you can save stuff. Now, it will save automatically. I haven't figured out the time frame in which it auto saves. So it normally helps periodically to just go in and save, okay? And then, of course, you can do some new stuff as well. But most of this you don't have to worry too much about. The only thing that you want to double check is that you want to make sure that if in your settings, all right, and you can go to that menu and go to settings, you are not in storyboard mode. We do not want this. We want to be in timeline. That should be selected by default. But if it's not, please make sure you're in timeline view. All right. Bouncing back real quick. Stream's doing good. Stream is getting good. Okay, cool. Bouncing back. All right. So, one of the things that, of course, you want to do just so that your projects don't kind of get messed up over one another is you want to rename it. It will default to My Video, all right, which is right next to your main menu. If you click on that, it's just going to prompt you to rename it. Quite frankly, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things what you name it, but just do me a favor and just, put your first name dash practice, where this is just going to be a mess around, obviously, but at least this will keep it somewhat organized on my end, because I also think what this will allow me to do is I'll be able to go into the back end of the project and see everyone's progress. And I want you guys to know that that's not oh, Mr. Leonard is keeping tabs, but if I go into this mess around project here, all right, I'll be able to see as Dean just renamed his and it popped in there. It's going to let me know, all right, when it was last modified. So like I can see that, when the last time you were in the project. So if you're like, oh, Mr. Leonard, I was working on it all week and I see that you haven't actually modified that project in a few days, I'm going to call bullcrap. So as you guys are starting to pop in, you can see, and what's even better, if I really want to, I can get into Ashley's project and then take it over and actually look at that progress as well. All right, so I'm going to go back to my practice and then check the stream real quick. Downloads are taking forever. Some of them will, and it depends on the internet connection a little bit. But when you guys start doing your own stuff, all right, it's going to be a matter of just changing our workflow a little bit. And that's going to very simply be you are maybe shooting things on your phone. If you have your own camera, fantastic. Either way, you're used to from the camera to the computer. All right, the only extra wrinkle this time around is that you're going to go from your computer or from your phone to Google Drive, and then you're going to import from Google Drive. And what's really nice is it'll load a little bit quicker, but you don't have to worry about keeping footage on your computer. So it's actually pretty nice in that regard. The only downside is if, you know, you lose internet or something, then obviously you have some issues working. Just going to check over here. Okay, everyone seems to be doing all right. Stream is looking healthy for right now. Okay, so we've got that named. All right, we don't have to worry so much about themes, all right, or linked resources, which is if you want to put in like Google Docs or Google Slides presentations as part of your project, you can, but that's not a tool that we're going to be using pretty heavily. All right, now it defaults to stock media. And the stock media is stuff as part of WeVideo that, of course, you're more than welcome to go through and use. I just tried to find a little bit more focused section of stock media for us to use today. But by all means, feel free to tinker with some of this stuff when you want. You have a tab for My Media. Now, mine's going to look a little bit different because I have some other projects that I've been working in there, all right? So in your media, you might not have anything specific. And in shared media, all right, you're not going to have anything specific. But because this was a project that I created for our class, if you go down to project media, all right, you should see the 2 audio files, all right, as well as all the clips that I added to this project. And yes, they're very well made, and here's this adorable seal. But you should see all that footage pop in there. So I'm just going to pause for a second and bounce back to the chat and ask, does everyone see that footage? And if not, please let me know. Oh. Stream's killing it. Cool. So thank you for that. All right, bouncing between tabs, listening in, and following along as we move. Cool. So it looks like we're all in the right spot. Awesome. I'm going to barrel ahead a little bit here. All right. No, please stream. Stay with us. Things are looking good. Okay. Going back to my desktop. Now, this is going to be your hub for the footage for this project. And as you shoot your own projects, it'll be in the My Media folder, and you don't have to start a project. It'll be tethered to whatever it is that you create. Now, I might just create a simple project so that it's all tethered to one place, and it'll allow you to export in one place. And we'll get to that a little bit later. Sarah, let me check on the back end for you. Perry as well. You don't have any of the clips in the project media. All right, let's take a look here. So if everyone can pause, feel free to tinker and play if you're so inclined. I'm going to look into Sarah and Perry's stuff here. All right, Perry's there, Sarah's there. Okay, they're both part of the class. Projects, mess around. Members. Sarah and Perry, try refreshing the screen up here at the top of the URL and see if that does it for you. Because this is the project that's contained in, or the media that's contained in that project. Now I'm only seeing edits from Caitlin, Ashley, Nick, Allie, and Dean. So just make sure, Sarah and Perry, that if you're, and I'll do this very quickly from the dashboard again, right? You're not creating a new project here. All right, you're going to projects, you're going to shared with me. All right, you're going to see an option here, all right, for the TV3 mess around. So make sure that when you click on TV3 mess around, all right, that you're hitting start or do new video edit. If you started a new project outside of this group project, you will not see those clips. All All right, so if you need to, go back to your dashboard, go to projects, shared with me, look for TV3 mess around, and then start a project in there. That could be why you're not seeing the clips. Whoops. All right, everyone else that's kind of in standby, I appreciate your patience. Thank you much. All right, Sarah's got it. So most likely what I'm guessing is that you started a project outside of our class project. All right, Perry, let me know if you get back on board. I'm just going to move forward a little bit here with some of the simple things. All right, here's my Leonard practice. So going into media, project media, here we are. Okay. So just to move through a few things as far as the interface goes, okay, you can obviously import more, and some of these options for you might be grayed out, all right, but the simple one here is just Google Drive if you want to bring footage in. For this, we don't necessarily have to, as I just tried to give you enough to work with to kind of tinker and play around for today, all right. The music, of course, should play back, no problemo. No, I don't have any sound coming out of my speakers because I don't want the feedback into my microphone while I'm talking. So hopefully that's playing back okay. All right. And then, of course, any of the clips that you double click will move over to that source/program monitor. Now, I'm just going to fiddle with the old man Tai Chi clip that's in there. All right. I can obviously preview it. All right, and the one thing that I haven't discovered as of this point is there's no easy way to do in points and out points, which is, it sucks, but you can adjust your in points and out points, all right, by dragging the handles here on the beginning and end of the clip. So if I wanted, let's just say, as this clip is fairly long, all right, I wanted to use the first portion of that. I can tell that as I drag, it's going to scrub through and let me know where it is in the video. All right, so let's just say I want to use this first portion. Now, typically, I would be dragging this clip down from here, all right, but I can't actually do that. So if I want to use just that portion, I'm going to drag it from here down to my timeline, all right? If I then want to go back to this clip and say use the last chunk of time, I can readjust that. All right, and you'll notice it doesn't change down here like it would for Premiere. And again, I'm going to drag it from here. So you just have to reset in points and out points, all right, in that clip. And then it will, now it's going to jump cut, of course, play back. And if I don't like that, I can delete that. All right, so setting in points and out points around clips, pretty simple to do. All right, I'm going to throw Tai Chi in there. Actually, let's just make it easier on ourselves. Let's just put that whole clip in. All right, I'm going to bounce back to the chat, make sure you guys are doing okay. Perry's got it. Awesome. Fantastic. Okay. Whoops, wrong way. So you'll notice that I've got one audio track, one video track, and then a second video track. You can add more, all right, with this plus sign that's here. And I found that to be really helpful because it allowed me to kind of like tier my clips if I want to, but it also allowed me to do an added layer of text, which I'll get into in a second. When I edited the morning show using WeVideo, that was really helpful to move clips in. But what I found was even more helpful was within these clips, within these tracks, I apologize. You can, of course, rename it if you click on the name. So if it helps to do video 1, and this could be graphics or text, you can rename those so you can stay organized. All right. You'll notice that there's a little drop down arrow here. Okay. And if I click on that, it gives me view options. So I can make the track skinnier so it takes up less space. All right. I can keep it where it was, or I can make it like super fat. And this is helpful because this now will show, and there's not in this clip, but it will show the audio that's attached to the video. Now, in this particular clip, it's slowed down, which is why there's no audio for it. And you will find that a lot of these clips don't have any audio. But if I bring in this clip, and I'm just going to pull it down raw, is live band, you'll notice I can see the waveform here. So I'm going to leave these two clips in here, and I'm just going to show you some quick ways to tweak and adjust. All right. So if I select the clip once, all right, you'll see that I've got some options on the top here in which to kind of tinker with that clip. All right, I can adjust the opacity using what was the equivalent of keyframes. All right, and I can open the clip editor All right. I can also just double click the clip as well. All right, it's the same thing. I think double clicking is a little bit easier. All right, and it's going to take you to this sub menu. All right, and it tells you we are editing Old Man Tai Chi. This isn't for every clip, it's just for this one. And there's some menu items up here. The first one is for transform. So if you wanted to rotate that clip, all right, you can, which could be helpful if you are shooting on your phone and need to rotate a clip 180 degrees. You can increase the scale and you can change the position within the frame. I don't see too many reasons for needing to do that, but it's there. All right, the other thing for the clip is the audio levels. So it has its own tab here, all right, to if there was audio and say you wanted to kill all the audio in this clip, you can just bring this all the way down, or you can do it really simply and just hit mute. All right. You can also add audio transitions at this point as well. All right, and it's based on a time count. So if you wanted a 2-second fade in and a 2-second fade out, cool. You can do that there. All right. The animation, I haven't tinkered too much with because I haven't found a need for it in what I've been doing. You can adjust some of the visual settings, color, contrast, saturation, hue, temperature, and tint. All right. So you get some very light, color correction and color grading. You can key stuff. So if you shot on a green screen, for example, you can find a way to remove that color and put in a background. All right. And then you can speed ramp as well. So you can speed things up and slow them down. All right. You do need to make sure that anytime you change something, you make sure you click down at the bottom where it says save changes. I didn't do much, but I'm going to cancel that. And I'm going to go back to the chat and make sure we're still good. Stream is good. Bitrate is good. Okay. I got to stop doing that. It's the next tab. Okay. Now, you can click on the audio thing here, and it will bring you directly to the audio, which is also kind of a quicker way if you want to just go, all right, kill it. All right. And you'll notice, all right, I know it's tough to see on my screen here, but you'll notice that as I adjust this, okay, the gray area in the audio levels goes up and down as well. So you can see that move a little bit. That gives you a nice visual cue that if it's all the way up, you won't see anything past 100, but if you've killed it, you know an empty box is a mute box. Okay, you'll also notice that when I click on the audio option here, it does give me the ability for our keyframes. Now, there's not a pen tool, but if you click on this line, it will still add those points. And so if you wanted to do a manual fade in and fade out, you can. And if you wanted to drop it at any other point in time, you can as well. Now, that might be a little weird, but at least it gives you the flexibility to do that. All right. Depending on the type of project you're working in, you also have the option here to control the audio volume for the entire track. And that would make every clip in that track unified. All right. And so if you know you're putting in clips and you're going to kill all the audio, you might as well just bring this all the way down and not have to worry about doing it for each individual clip. All right. But you will find that if you bring that all the way down and then decide that there is one other clip that you want to adjust the levels for, it does make it a little bit more difficult to tweak that. So you may want to put that clip in a separate video track. Okay. Leaving those two things open. Actually, I'm going to delete both of them. And you can just click once. It'll highlight in orange and delete. I'm going to take our adorable little seal and just trim my heads and tails so that I can, again, old habits. All right, throw that in. All right, there's no audio for that clip. And I will take my beach yoga lady and I'm going to trim my heads and tails here and then bring this in. All right. So, moving down the line, if you bounce over to your text tab, all right, you'll have some templates, which are really nice. It's pretty convenient. All right. We all know in Premiere, text is not the most conducive thing and it's time consuming. So at least this, can give you some pretty simple templates, and they're organized over here based on motion, whether or not they're static. There's some seasonal stuff. And then I guess there's if you're doing a presentation, you can kind of highlight some things here. So for simple text, you can just use basic text. There's some lower thirds in here as well. You've got some end credits, which is great. But I can just drag simple text in, and I do want to put it in a separate video track. Okay, and I know now if I double click that text, it's going to give me the text properties where I can go in and tweak. So I'm just going to change this to Yoga Lady because that's the clip it's over. All right, you can adjust the font. Sure, we'll go with this one. We can adjust the color. Oh, that's the background color. My apologies. I want none color. None background, please. Oh, there it is. Transparent's down at the very bottom, that checkered box. Cool. We want the font color here. That I'm going to go with a little son of a gun. Wrong one yet again. Come on, you. Well, I don't want that. Well, cancel. We'll make it easier on ourselves. There we go. All right. Silly me. Let's go with a green one. They're all terrible. It's a very busy image to put text over, so we're going to keep it white so it pops. All right. You can adjust some of the size and stuff down here as well if you want it larger. All right. You should be able to come over here and move it freeform across the window as well. We'll go above her. All right. Yoga Lady. Save changes. All right. So some simple text there, and of course you can tinker around and play. All right. I'm going to skip over audio for a second and just jump to transitions. So transitions just visually look a little bit different because they try and, like if you select it once, it will preview what that transition looks like. So if you're not sure what a burn transition looks like, or what a mosaic transition looks like, you can preview it here, which is kind of helpful. But we're going to stick with a simple crossfade for now, and I'm just going to add it to the beginning of my text, and you'll notice that it turns green. And when I bring it down towards the end to fade out, it is also green. If you're bringing down transitions and it's not giving you that indicator that it's green, it's going to be orange or red, it means you cannot add it. I'm going to add another one between those two, and now I'm going to shift this over. Nope, I can't because of my transition. If you want to zoom in on your timeline, down here in the lower right corner, we can zoom in a little bit here. Trash that transition. Trash that transition. We're going to move this here and then go back. Actually, let's do a mosaic on that. Why not? I always use ugly transitions when practicing. All right, we got our cute seal. It's going to cross dissolve to Yoga Lady, and then we're going to have that text fade in. The world's most boring font, but ugh, that is atrocious. That is an atrocious transition and font and color. It's awful. All right, and then we'll leave that be. I'm going to go back and check on the stream real quick. How's everyone doing so far? I'm sure I know I'm moving slow, and if you moved ahead and started to tinker and play, you probably feel comfortable with a lot of this. But how about this? On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you feel like comfort-wise? 10 meaning like, Mr. Leonard, dude, I've got this. I don't know everything yet, but I can learn this really quickly. Or 1 being, wait, hold on, I need to start over. I'm totally lost and confused. Give me on a scale of 1 to 10 where you're at. I'm going to take this moment now to just quickly save this project. Oh, gosh. Ashley's an 8. Okay, that's comforting. That's good. Nick is also an 8. We're going to get the sea of 8s coming in. Be honest, there's no shame here, guys. We're learning something different. I'm not even going to say new. It's a new platform, but editing itself is a skill. So, but we should be back. Okay. We're there. We're good. Come on, stream, catch up. Okay. All right, so 8s and 6s. That's pretty good. 6.4, says Ryan. Very specific, and I appreciate the specificity. So, oh, come on, stream, catch up here. So let me ask the 6 and 6.4 people, or anyone that is in that realm but didn't want to say, are we confused on how to use things, or is it just a matter of it being a little bit different and new? Because if it's different and new, then practice and time in there will eventually boost that 6 up to a higher level. And if you're at an 8, that just might be I feel comfortable figuring out how to use this, but the percentage of what you know might be a little bit lower. And again, the whole game of just going through this today is to kind of get our feet wet and get some practice. And I wanted to make sure that we had some practice with the clips before we started to get into some of our own projects that we'll be shooting when we're back from break. Oi. All right. So those that replied, thank you. All right, 6s, we're going to move you up. 8s, that's a good starting point because I think you'll feel more comfortable as we move through. Now, I'm just keeping an eye on the clock. I know we're getting to the last portion of our time together, and I'm keeping an eye on my stream as well to make sure it doesn't crap out on us. It sputtered a bit. So just a few last things to touch upon. All right, audio, there's some free music in there. There's some sound effects in there that are categorized, which is helpful. All right, and there's some preemie music as well. You're more than welcome to use all of this. Okay. Backgrounds would be if you had a green screen and wanted to put a background behind you, you could. Or maybe you just wanted to put something in where, you've got, oops, wrong button there. You want to put a title over this in between maybe segments of something. Like this is an option. Like feel free to use any of these resources, okay, including the stock media as well, even though our project media. Okay, all right. Stream is sputtering. All right, I appreciate you guys hanging with. But the reality, I gotta stop doing that. The reality is there's not a whole heck of a lot more for me to get into too much. The last little bit maybe worth mentioning is I'm just gonna pull one of these songs in there. All right, I'm gonna shorten it just so it fits in the timeline a little bit better. We'll just take the 13 seconds. I'm going to move that down into audio 1. You will notice it will not let you put it in an incorrect track. So I'm just going to throw this in there. Now, any audio in the audio track by default is going to have, as I'm realizing I'm on my camera, sorry, is going to have your ability to keyframe your audio, which is great if you want to do some manual stuff there. It's a little bit easier and quicker than going into your transitions and adjusting those things. So let's bounce here for a sec. Stream quality is excellent. Okay. Stop doing that. Let's go back here. Now you guys won't be able to hear this. Even I can't hear it because I don't have my computer hooked up to my soundboard. All right. So here's my aim for today is seeing as how, in all honesty, all right, the only other like oddball thing that you may want to even consider looking at is if you select the clip once, all right, you can click on the FX button and there's some like filters and effects here. So if you wanted to go say black and white, boom, black and white. All right, we can apply that. Now I wouldn't do that to Yoga Lady because it's such a nice clip. Let's actually see if we can dream it up a little bit. Apply. That looks terrible. I don't like it. We're going to go back to none and then apply. Okay. The last little bit as I bring down Hip Hop Santa for us to gander at, okay, is that of course, once the clip is in your timeline, all right, you can also stop it and make cuts there, so that it's a little bit more precise. Of course, you can grab the ends of those clips and adjust, all right, to the spot where you want it. But if you're playing it and you get it right on the frame that you want to cut, use this tool here to make a cut. And then you can always delete the chunks that you don't want. So as you know, I'm not a huge fan of timeline editing, right? Using your blade tool in Premiere, because if you're setting in and out points and moving down, you'll never have to cut stuff, delete stuff, move stuff. But given our platform here, it might be the best way to go about it. Checking back. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. I'm going to encourage you guys to also go to save as well. All right. You will have an indicator down here. It's in the orange text in the bottom left-hand corner of your window. It'll say all changes are saved, but you will see that periodically as you're doing things, right? As soon as I moved that clip, last saved 10 seconds ago. And so it does kind of remind you when the last save was. so that if you make changes, you need to save again until it auto-saves. But again, don't rely on autosave, okay? Just make sure you're saving before you move out of the application. I think when you make cuts, Ashley's chiming in here. Thank you for the note. When you make cuts, it cuts across all of the tracks. Just so you know, learn that the hard way. I really wish you can explain that a little bit better. I'm not saying that's a poor explanation. Do you mean to say that if you make a cut here and then delete this, it permanently cuts this clip? I'm curious what you mean by that, though, Ashley. If you can explain that in a little bit more detail, that would be much appreciated. Some people trickled out. Okay, so for a 6.4 to a 7, very cool. No, so go to where you have stuff on track 1 and 2 and then cut. Oh, so it cuts straight through. So it does. Okay. Gotcha. All right, that's good to know. And I'm just going to show that on my screen. So I'm going to just delete all that and bring down Hip Hop Santa. So what Ashley was saying is that if I want to cut Hip Hop Santa here, it's going to also cut everything beneath it, but it didn't. There it did. So Ashley, to answer your question, all right, or to, I guess, troubleshoot, is that if you do want to cut Hip Hop Santa here, select it, like make sure the clip is highlighted, and then hit cut. It will only cut the top one. And does it work vice versa? Yes, it does. So that was probably part of that problem. Yes, Command Z, or I guess for you guys, Control Z will still undo the action. But hopefully that quick demonstration there, Ashley, showed you that you can cut just the top track or the bottom track. You want to make sure it's selected first. Otherwise, it will cut everything in a row. Okay, so we've got 10 minutes left. We're going to stop on the day. I'm hoping you guys feel a little bit more comfortable with this. And I did kind of toil with, well, do I want to assign a very loose video edit to be done by Wednesday? And the title animations won't let me cut it. Yes. And the reason for that is because if it's a text clip that has built-in animations, those animations are tethered to the default in points and out points. So, for example, when I was doing the morning show, I had some lower thirds in there that were fully animated. So you might not be able to cut those clips, but you should still be able to adjust your in points and out points to have that text be a little bit longer or a little bit shorter. It needs a certain duration to have those animations play out. So my initial plan was to leave a little time, and way more than 10 minutes, to let you guys play and then ask questions like this. And so maybe we'll pick that up on Wednesday. So I'm perfectly fine with listen, I told you guys I'm not giving you an assignment heading into break, but if we can use maybe Wednesday as structured time to sit down and just kind of play with this a little bit, that'll give me an opportunity to answer questions like this and not put the stress on you folks to, starting now and have due before Wednesday's class, a silly edit. So if this means you feel interested enough to want to tinker on your own, oh my God, please go for it. But I don't want to formally assign anything from a video standpoint. If you haven't looked at Classroom, all right, I will say that I did put up a very short survey for you guys to fill out in regards to some feedback, all right, about how I've been doing with digital teaching. I think it's fair that we've been doing this for 3-4 weeks now. You guys should give me some say as to how you feel our structure's been, the video chats, the live streams, the homework assignments, the posts, and communication, things like that. Because as you know, feedback for any project is always crucial. So I figured, why not give you guys a voice to let me know how I'm doing, and if I can change things over break, then I will certainly look to do what is going to best suit you guys as a whole. And then just, a few questions, honestly, on where your head's at. I know this has been a difficult transition for some people. And I just getting that, by the way, that information will not be shared, is just kind of helpful for me to know, because I don't have the luxury of seeing you guys face to face or being in the same room as you, and just picking up on inflections in your voice and your demeanor, and like having a conversation about like, hey, what's going on? Because you seem a little down, and like talking about it might help. Just it lets me know where your head's at. So it shouldn't take more than 5-6 minutes to do. That's the one thing I'll ask, that if you guys can do before next class, that would be fantastic. It is going to be the first grade in the 4th marking period, so it's a really easy way to start off with a hundo and then just kind of head in the break knowing that you're in the best possible position for the 4th marking period. I was actually going to give Ashley, so my initial thought was, no, you don't have to do it again. However, and I know I don't want to make you like do extra work. It didn't take long, I don't think. But if you feel compelled to let me know that, like maybe what I'm doing in this class is different than how you feel about how I'm doing in our morning show class, as they are just both very different. If you want to do it again and give me specific feedback for TV3 versus TV broadcasting, totally cool. If not, I'm not going to hold it against you. Like I'll count one for both if that's okay. Totally up to you. All right. So that's all for today. So Wednesday we'll jump back in the WeVideo and tinker, and I'll be here to answer more of your questions. And that way we'll probably take like a simple day and then say goodbye to everyone as we head into break. But know that if we are continuing this over or after break, at least now we've got a editing platform we can use, and I'm going to start to develop some simple projects that you'll be able to do around the house with, with the understanding that maybe you don't have any siblings, and maybe you aren't allowed outside, or there isn't a lot of stuff in the house. Like I'm going to be very aware of that. So that's going to be all for today. If you need to reach out for any reason, of course, feel free to email me. We'll meet again on Wednesday to just play around with some of this stuff in WeVideo and then move on from there. Don't forget the survey. If you can get that done by the start of next class. All right, easy grading to go in for 4th marking period, and I believe that's all. So if you want to bounce, if you didn't already, I appreciate that. Thank you. Feel free to head on out on the day. I'll stick around for a few minutes if you guys have any questions or anything. Otherwise, we'll see you briefly on Wednesday. All right. Adios. Oh my God, Thursday. I keep saying Wednesday. Today is Tuesday. I will see you Thursday. All right, you guys will be in my last class before break. So we'll see you then. Okay.